Live from Caitlyn Jenner's Shaved Down Nub. This is the Way of the Future podcast. This week we will be discussing It's Always Sunny, Season 11, Episode 3, and American Crime, Season 2, Episode 2 and 3, so we can get all caught up. We're just going to jump into it. So, It's Always Sunny, Season 11, Episode 3. It was about skiing. It was about mountain rules. It was about 80s.
It's way
homages.
80s. Way 80s.
They spoofed another movie.
Yeah, the Ski Patrol. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, by the way.
I haven't.
It's one of the...
It used to be on Encore, all the time when I was a kid, so I've seen, bits and pieces of it, here and there, and then, stopped watching it because it's dog shit.
It seems like it should have been one of those movies that was, constantly on rotation on TNT or some shit like that. Back when, basically anything, with John Cusack from the 80s was on TNT. I remember just seeing tons of 80s, bad 80s movies.
TBS?
Yeah, TBS. Maybe it was on TBS.
Yeah, because I'm
it was one of those
TNT
TVs.
had Law and Order, all day long when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
TNT had Law and Order and Wrestling.
Yep, Law and Order and Wrestling.
I must be thinking of TBS then.
And Matlock.
And Matlock.
Well, maybe I am thinking of TNT then. No,
some of that
no
programming
movies.
is regional.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, but those kind of schlocky fucking 80s movies that kind of I feel started with Porky's and then it kind of went out from there where it's just hey man, it's just about coming of age tale, it's about kids, it's about being
cool in the 80s.
Yeah, bro, you don't want to be part of the establishment, you just want to chill out, yo.
It was jocks and stoners.
Well, the Ski Patrol movie actually came out in 1990.
That's right on the cutting edge.
It definitely feels run off of that, though.
I'm just saying, it's technically they made it very 80s.
Look at any clothing styles.
Yeah.
And
they bleed over into the next
decade before at least keeps going on for the first 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, before grunge came.
Lots of movies are made a year before they came out too.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that too.
89.
Yeah.
Did I see Porky's with you? Are you the person that made me watch Porky's?
No.
I can't remember.
I remember
we might have
Porky's.
watched
I remember
Porky's.
Porky. We didn't watch it with you though.
I could have swore we watched it together because you wanted me to see the alien kid.
I'm
alien kid.
Yeah, in Porky's they had an alien.
I believe you, dude. I've only seen Porky's twice.
Did I see it with you?
It's
Ian?
possible. I remember watching Porky's while knowing you. So
yeah,
maybe.
Porky's was always a weird movie for me because I hadn't seen it growing up, and I would
never
always
seen it.
And I would always hear people talking about it though, and I would just be like, dude, I don't think I want to watch
was
that
it Porky's?
movie.
No, it was Meatballs. That's the one with the.
That's with Corey Feldman and Bill Murray's in the first one, and I've seen
and
Meatballs.
The alien kid was in Meatballs.
Meatballs. Oh, I do know what kid you're talking about. The alien.
He was
kid.
like an alien.
I didn't make you watch Meatballs though either.
Oh Jesus! What
we
is it?
watched a lot of.
Wasn't there a second Porky's movie called Porky's Revenge, or am I going crazy?
There's
a Porky's 2.
I think there's even a Porky's 3.
Porky's Revenge.
And then Meatballs has 7
Porky,
sequels.
Porky is this big fucking fat guy who owns a bar.
Yeah.
It's just the pig on the sign that's all that.
No, he's the guy who owns it. Is Porky.
Yeah, Porky owns it.
I just remember he wasn't in the movie all that often.
I remember I watched that movie like a bunch of times.
What was the name of the little guy? It was Pee-wee or something?
I can't
I think
remember.
the main character,
the
guy that looks like Ron Howard.
I never understood what was going on. I was like, why are all these kids messing around with this guy?
It wasn't him, but it looked like him. Basically the whole point behind it is they're teenagers, they get boners, and they don't know what to do with them.
They're in a swamp.
That's what I got out of it.
The only thing, the angry coach lady grabs the guy's dick through the hole.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. She tugs it like a sausage.
Well, she's got soap in her eyes or something. Yeah, and she doesn't even know it's a dick. And she's
she did.
She did. She was like, "What is this?"
See, okay, what happened was
I could have sworn she was
it was like
confused.
high school girls showering, and then he put his dick through, and then they had finished, and then the old
Big Bertha
coach
lady.
lady
Okay,
came
wait.
out,
First, let's
grabbed
preface.
it and
Let's preface this for the people who haven't seen it. Basically, Porky's is a movie about perverted boys in the 50s that
in some swamp in the middle of nowhere.
It seems like
American
all they
Pie before American Pie.
kinda, except they don't really even get laid. It's all just about seeing naked chicks Like it seems like in areas where they're not supposed to be
sexual
seen.
crimes.
It's about as sexual as the 50s can get.
Yeah. Okay.
Think of like some of the scenes in Revenge of the Nerds, and that's like,
Yeah.
but a whole movie
Not even
of
that
just
bad.
that.
But the Revenge of the Nerds was awesome.
Yeah, it was. But Revenge of the Nerds definitely falls into like kind of what we're talking
Yeah, the
about.
80s style.
Those 80s like, hey,
Those
we're just
movies
gonna
where,
mess
like,
Anything
around.
goes. It's okay.
Yeah.
No,
They're
It's
just completely
movies.
crazy.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I watched it a couple weeks ago, and I was telling Evan like that's the only time that like that nerd guy, we liked him so much when we were kids, but he raped that
Yeah,
girl
yeah.
in the
He definitely
jump
raped
house.
her. I mean, like that would literally.
No,
That's
he
rape.
could get convicted for that exact
Yeah.
scenario.
Well, dude, guys can be convicted
But that's-
now for rape for like shit like oh god,
Like
it's,
what's going on in American crime.
well, no, it's even worse. Like I've heard of some dudes even being convicted because the girl said that they wanted to, but then they changed their mind after they'd already had sex.
Oh, yeah.
and then it considered it rape.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely an extreme.
But the culture has
but-
changed so much that like that kind of stuff in TV was perfectly okay to see. Like that's just a guy that really wants this girl.
You can kind of tell in the '80s too. It was still like quote unquote a man's
It was
world.
sexist,
You know, yeah,
completely.
definitely.
And that's what this episode really showed.
Yeah. It
a lot
did.
of it.
And
yeah.
it showed what happens to you if you're a sexual deviant.
It's funny because by the end of it, you find out that every girl in that episode was actually a prostitute, so it
Yeah.
made sense. Like,
Yeah, they were paid to do that.
Back to
Why?
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie got disgustingly laid. I've only been
I thought it was
disgusted.
disgusting. I thought it was awesome.
I mean, his faces were
I
awesome.
thought it was pretty funny.
The only
Yeah.
time I've been like,
They were making fun of all the just ridiculous sex scenes.
I
In the
mean,
80s
yeah,
movies, yeah.
you're right. It made me think of when Frank had the
Yeah, I was
love
gonna
scene
say the
in
lethal weapon.
yeah.
Oh, so
With his
good.
dead eye.
It's
Yeah.
just sweaty all over. It's disgusting.
What?
You remember that? Oh, you haven't seen that episode.
We'll have to show you.
Yeah,
Wait,
you have to
are you
see
talking
it.
about the What's Always Sunny episode?
Lethal
Yeah.
They
Weapon.
make a Lethal Weapon 6,
Okay.
and it's insane. But that episode, I said it when it was on actually, but I kind of liked how it was Danny DeVito being like kind of a role that he probably would have been offered in one of those movies in the 80s, but
He
at
would
the
never
time he never would have taken it. But now he got a chance to like play
But he-
that role,
he
but
did
also
kinda take a
make
role
fun
like
of it.
that.
He did.
In the movie with him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they were
Twins.
That's getting
Twins.
into like the end of the 90s though. Oh wait, no, Twins wasn't. But Twins was actually more serious. If you
no way, he had those two broads that Marnie and whatever.
He
premise-
was, he
the
was
premise-
pretty sleazy in
Yeah.
War
The
of the Roses,
The
too.
premise, but it's not about like sleazy or like it's about the ridiculousness of the plot of those movies. Like Twins has kind of got a weird plot, but like when you get into like what's actually happening in that movie, it's pretty serious. Like he's in trouble with like the mob or like some like loan shark motherfuckers, and like his brother has to help save him.
Is that not?
And-
Is it not a comedy?
And it kind of even gets
It is.
serious. It kind of
Yeah.
even gets serious though too when he finds out that they were part of like a genetic project, and he was all like the leftover bullshit. He like got sad and stuff. Like it wasn't like
For
it-
like
he's-
5 seconds,
I'm
and then
just
it was
saying-
back to like...
There's nothing like that.
Banging his girlfriend.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like that though in Porky's or fucking Revenge of the Nerds though, where somebody like has a fucking serious like
Was he in Porky's?
No, what I'm saying is that he was in an episode tonight that made fun of those type of movies because
Yeah.
he never would have been in them back then.
It was a big spoof.
And even War of the Roses is way more intelligent than like let's say fucking Ski Patrol. Like,
Well, yeah, I guess.
that's what I'm saying.
I was saying more that he's played sleazy characters before.
Yeah, but he didn't get into like the ridiculous ass movies. I feel until like
Batman
I'd say Batman was probably one of the first ones, and
that I
then
saw at least.
shit started really getting weird with like Junior
Throw
and
Mama from the train.
Throw Mom from
Throw
Train was
Mama
good.
from the Train.
yeah, but Throw Mama from the
He's, like,
Train.
mentally deficient.
Yeah, I was gonna say that still has like a serious side to it though. It's the dark comedy for a reason. It's because it's fucked up.
Death of Smoochie.
Yeah.
No, Death of Smoochie is even like a little serious almost.
Drowning Mona.
I was gonna say Screwed, the one with Norm Macdonald and Dave Chappelle, where they try and kidnap the old lady.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
his
yeah.
dog.
We should watch that then if he's never seen it. It's definitely worth watching.
He's not a main character in that, but he's in it enough and very memorable. So I'll leave it at that.
I'm just happy that this episode didn't have anything to do with
Any
an old
previous
plot.
episode.
Yeah.
Prior episodes.
It wasn't
I mean,
like a rehash or
yeah.
like a redo.
You were saying like some people like hope a lot of episodes like going forward should all just be like homages to 80s type movies, right?
Yeah, or just bad movies in general.
I would argue though, like after you said that, I was thinking about it, and I would argue that most of the episodes are anyway.
Yeah.
Like even when it's not super in your face and not subtle
pull,
with it, like
they'll pull gags from other movies,
like
from
a
bad
lot from
movies.
80s, like the Office one.
They'll even say,
Like The Office.
Isn't that from this?
Yeah,
About this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the Office episode where Mac and Charlie start working at an office, and he tries to like do the Secret to My Success movie plot, but it doesn't work at all, and they sing the song. But
Well, they should keep doing it and stop.
So-
They should stop trying to say like, okay, well, let's just take our most famous episodes from the past and like do them again.
I'd rather. I think they could do something original still. It's just we were only 3 episodes in.
This
you
was
know?
by far my favorite episode of the season. So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
It's the
Definitely.
only one that felt like actually new to me.
Yeah.
Last season, did you feel like there was good episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked some of the episodes
There
last
were
season.
some of them didn't really have that much going on, but they were still pretty good.
Yeah.
I really like the Wade Boggs challenge.
The Family Feud
yeah,
one.
When they were drinking on the plane. I really like the one. Yeah, Family
Feud was just awesome.
Yeah, just
Felt-
Frank
it
bringing
was
up
good,
toe
but it
knife
felt
on
out
fucking
of-
national TV.
Dee fucking breaking that
Yeah,
thing.
she
Oh my
destroys
god,
the
with her
buzzer.
man hand.
Which,
So good.
and that episode, I still love the episode where they're stealing Frank's blood, and he just looks like a dead person the
Yeah.
whole time.
There were definitely good moments of last season.
In grocery bags. Yeah, no, it was a good season, and I feel like there's still enough room to get better.
Yeah.
And I wasn't super disappointed with the last 2 episodes. It's just, yeah, they were rehashes, like you said.
Yeah. It just.
They felt like 2 wasted episodes to me.
Yeah, it felt like they were just like, oh, we need 2 episodes. Let's just do this.
What was the last one about? It was Frank fell out the window. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It fell out
but
the window, but it was all flashbacks to an episode that they had.
Back in 2006.
Frank fell out the
Say-
window. I could see you thinking of that as a wasted episode, but Charlie McDennis, I feel like it was a wasted episode, but I feel like it didn't
could've
have
been-
to. Yeah, it could have been much
super
better.
good.
I think they could have had all of that inside of another episode and still had enough like time left over to do a whole nother plot.
Yeah, but Charlie McDennis needs a full episode to itself.
Not
They
this
need
one.
to do a
This
movie.
one didn't have enough substance.
Well, they also like
for a whole
went
episode.
way off the rails with it, and like almost didn't
That's what I
seem
mean.
like they
It
had an
feels kinda
idea
like
for an
wasted.
ending. Almost.
Like,
Yeah,
if they were
yeah.
gonna do Charlie McDennis, then they should have.
That one,
done
I
it.
don't wish it was a different episode though. I just wish it was made better.
Yeah.
You know, like I wish the premise was the same, but the episode was different. If that makes sense.
They should just make a movie. They should make a movie on FXX and have it be like.
That'll be like the last thing they ever do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm like, I don't want to ask for that because then
I mean,
that means I won't
technically,
get
they
any
did
more
make
TV
that
show.
one. The Christmas special was a movie.
Yeah.
In effect, like it was longer than a normal episode, and it was a little more uncut. Like naked Frank fucking sliding everywhere, all greased up.
That was awesome. Yeah, when the couch birthed him.
It's an amazing. I should download that as a GIF.
He
But
came
yeah,
out like a turkey.
I liked it though. This is a better episode. I hope that
It's fun.
I hope it keeps at least on this level. I loved Dennis's just slipping into the '80s bad guy role. Like he does it
Like
so
he was
good.
meant for it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd have to
this-
say the most over the top part of the episode was the "Did you come with my burrito?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, those guys were miserable, horrible, pathetic, sad.
That level of craziness though they need to keep up.
And that's what they're like. That's what we know and love them for.
The hidden
It's like
star-
it has to ramp up to that crazy level. That's the whole like enjoyment of that show.
The hidden star was definitely that washed up '80s guy though of that episode. Like man, the sexual offending and the whole like thinking you had to like empty beers into the sink to get money and like
Well, he's doing it for the rent.
yeah
for the
to get
can.
recycling money so you could buy more beer though. Like
No,
it was-
so they
No,
could pay
so
rent.
they could pay rent.
They had a tally board, like marking how many cans they had and how much money.
yeah,
they could
but
get
he
from
was
it.
saying like right before he did that, they're all like, "All right, yeah, get the beers," and he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, but I
we'll
thought-
get some money to get the beer," and he
thought
starts
Dee
emptying it,
and
and he's
Mac
like, "No, you
brought
drink the
those.
beer."
It was pay the rent.
No, it was to pay the rent. He didn't say
It was all
anything
paid
about
rent.
getting beer.
It's like, yeah, let's party, recycle party. And he was like
Oh.
pouring it down the drain. And then they were
Wait,
like,
I forgot you
drink
could do
it.
that.
Drink it.
Yeah.
Oh well, I
He was
guess
like, oh, yep, head damage.
I thought he was doing it to pay for the beer itself, and just got really confused.
When they ripped his hair off, I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. I actually, for me, I was like, "Whoa, okay, now his face makes more sense." Because like he didn't
I
have any,
recognized him.
he didn't have
after
any
that. He went
eyebrows
in other
either, though.
things.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually the guy I was Like, because I thought he looked like the guy from Spinal Tap and
No,
those
yeah, I
movies.
know who you're
He
talking
kind of
about.
looks like him, but
The black-haired guy, the one that had the cucumber in his
probably.
pants.
I don't know.
The one that had the cucumber in his pants wrapped in tinfoil.
I honestly, this guy I've seen in a bunch
What?
of different
What do you-
roles. The point,
Spinal Tap.
I've only seen
Yeah,
Spinal Tap a few times. I don't remember that shit.
Oh, you need to watch Spinal Tap again.
The movie.
Well, yeah, like Spinal Tap's a
Yeah,
really good
Yeah.
movie.
You should watch Spinal Tap and then you should watch Anvil because it's the real Spinal Tap.
Anvil's kind of depressing.
Yeah,
I've seen Anvil.
they were
um,
famous in Japan though.
Yeah, but they like toured with everyone that got big, and they never fucking got big. And their music's way better than some of the bands that got big too. Like, I like Anvil's music a fuck more than I like Metallica, and Metallica fucking got way bigger than them.
Okay, here's a gripe on today's because like on Live 105, this radio station that we have here. Okay, Live 105 is an alternative rock station. Okay, it plays alternative music. They're promoting Metallica's show,
Alternative.
and they're playing Metallica's music, and they're giving away tickets to see Metallica
the
because
genre is an alternative.
because
they're like one
Imagine
of the
Dragons are part of the show.
Imagine
And I was like,
opening.
why is Imagine Dragons part of this?
Because they want money.
My
And they
God,
know
it's
that they're
all
guaranteed to get paid if they're touring with Metallica.
That's
Sellout.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's a sellout.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metallica's
But I
like
just thought
almost
it's
the
weird
furthest thing you could get from fucking
Alternative, exactly, and that's why I was like, why is this here? Why are they playing Enter Sandman on Live 105? I'm changing the channel.
I would definitely consider Metallica.
Butt rock.
Well, no, I was gonna say one of like 5 of the most recognizable bands on the planet, like in the
Yeah.
top 5. Because like, dude, every fucking buddy knows about Metallica. It's sad, it's miserable,
I
but
used
it's
to listen to
true.
them. I mean, I still think that some of their music is okay.
The only shit I can go back and listen to is from their first album.
Kill 'Em All?
It's fucking raw.
Is that what it's
I'll
called?
give them that.
Kill 'em all.
Yeah.
It's good.
Hey, I won't say that they don't have like okay titles for their music and albums, but their music just got horrible, and I hated it the more and more Hetfield was singing. I liked it more when it was actually about like just making metal riffs. It sounded like almost
Yeah.
got out of control.
Anyways, enough about Metallica and how much they suck.
Yeah, right. There will never be enough about how much Metallica sucks.
No, I mean, we could sit here like all day and all night for like years and years and years, talk about the ways we don't like Metallica.
Lars Ulrich can get raped just like the kid in American Crime.
Yeah.
That's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
I wish it was Lars. We should make bumper stickers, and then underneath
Should've
it
been
says,
Lars.
Should have been Lars.
and then it'll just say American Crime Season 2 underneath. Help promote the show, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of rape.
And a lot of gender confusion. Because
Not-
they used a gender neutral name.
Yeah.
And then they kept saying like, "Oh, your daughter got raped, then, huh?" And then they're like, "No, my son." Oh,
What?
I will say
Well,
that
that is one of the things that
This
they
is-
said about this season was that they were really going to focus and try and show people what it's like for
focus, aka shove it down your throat.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Fucking super ham
to show people what it's like for young men who report being raped.
They're really being a little hammy about it, though. They're really like hammering it home hard. The whole it's different for boys than girls, like straight up,
Dude,
like
if you
3 to
look at,
4
like-
people said that.
If you look
almost.
at like any of the actual cases like this, though, it's almost exactly like
I know,
this.
Yeah.
I
So,
know.
I mean, it's
I'm
not
not
really.
They're
I'm not
not really-
disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like,
They're not really going over the top with it. I think on everything so far, they've hit the notes perfectly on
actually-
what a person would have to go through in this sort, like type of situation.
It's actually not even as bad as some things.
Yeah.
I'm literally only complaining about the dialogue, though, and them straight up saying, like,
Yeah.
this is different for boys. It's different. It's all because they don't think it could happen, and it straight up sounds like something that somebody
boys
wrote.
don't
That's-
get raped.
like,
But
that
the problem
sounds-
is, it sounds unrealistic, but that's,
that's what
exactly
people
how
say.
it is. That's why,
Yeah.
like, one of the
That
things.
sounds like
that's
what
why
people
they're-
say when they've thought about it for a long time, and they can fucking, like, it sounds written. I'll basically put it that way. It sounds like somebody thought to themselves, like, okay, how would somebody...
How can I write this
Yeah.
situation and have them play off each other?
Yeah, that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, some of it's a little simple, but
I mean, I'm not saying that that's not exactly what happens in real life either. I'm just saying it feels...
yeah, because there's real talk and then there's real talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Okay.
let's bring these specific issues to the table. We found out Eric is really, really gay. Like, not just
Eric's
repressed
the
gay.
white guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Eric's the one that
When-
put the semen inside him.
He might be gay
Probably.
for pay. We're not sure.
See,
He's the
okay,
guy that
that's,
went and kissed the guy in the car. Though.
that's what I was wondering is, like, is he gay for pay, or is the other guy gay for pay?
We don't
Wait,
know.
the other guy didn't do anything.
No. The guy that pulled up in his car.
Oh, that was I think that was like a Tinder hookup.
That was his car, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't need to.
But
be
maybe
gay
he's
for
just
fair.
really good
Maybe
at prostituting.
he's- yeah,
you know?
like-
I think he would.
Maybe he's got
Dude,
paid
we
for
don't
that
even know
car.
That's what
Not
it
all
was. What
people
if that's
that-
just his boyfriend?
Yeah,
It could be. I could be. It was just like weird how like he was like Eric was demanding
No,
certain
I think-
things. He's like no kissing and like he would say like certain shit. Like
No, I think-
prostitutes do that too. But
Yeah, but I think this was a gay hookup, like Grindr style. And
It's definitely possible because
Yeah,
the
and-
text messages before.
Right, and because
Fair
the
enough.
guy shows up and then he's like, "You like my car?" And then
Wanna
he's like,
drive
"Oh
it?
yeah, I love that car."
Want to drive it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop
because
my penis.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that was
you're a rough boy. Or
that is
something.
like
Yeah.
they just met and he's like, "Whoa, nice car, dude." It's not like he just bought that car and he's showing it to his boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's some stranger that he hooked up with, and it just happened to be some middle-aged
Well, it was
guy that
almost.
wants to make out and bang.
It almost like started giving me a theory though that other kid was
The black kid?
no the one that actually got raped.
Okay,
That
Taylor.
he was gay for pay too.
That's what I said.
And that like they
No,
that's
not
why
that
he was
exactly.
actually at the party
When they told
and
him
that
to be
they were
fun
gonna
and
drug.
stuff like that.
I thought that when they were gonna do the sex kit, like or the rape kit on him,
I found
I
a bunch of different ones.
I thought that I straight up thought that they were gonna give him the results and they were gonna be like, "There's massive amounts of scar tissue" or some shit
Yeah.
like
Or
that.
like-
no,
like up
There's
in
a
his
lot of
butthole.
Until-
from a
until-
lot of different men.
Yeah,
So
no,
the-
you got
it's like
stomach
it's
full of
like
cum right
some
now.
of it's very old.
Like, did you have some in the parking lot? Like, how the fuck did this happen?
Some of this
It's
is still alive.
it's on your lip. It's warm. It's fucking. I can
Okay,
feel
Yes,
it.
for a little bit, I
okay.
thought before his girlfriend kissed him, I thought she was his like fake wife.
Yeah, no, I
Like-
thought
Or
it
like
was
his
too.
pimp?
That,
No,
maybe,
no,
but
like-
I meant
Like
like.
school pimp?
No, it's like a girl.
I thought
that,
she was
like,
gonna be like, "You never touched me or anything." Or
Yeah,
like,
he's trying
No, I
to
know
look
what he's
straight
saying.
to make
Yeah,
himself fit into society, but he's really
he
gay.
started kissing her back, and so I'm like, okay, that's not it unless he's acting still.
Yeah,
I think he really
think-
wanted to fit in, and I think he tried out for the basketball team, and then he didn't make the
Dude.
cut, and then they
Is that what you think?
yeah, and then like because that's why he was at the tryout where they were all trying. where
That's
were
what they
all,
said in the episode. There's like
practicing.
something like hazing or something like that. And dude, if you look it up, there's some crazy shit that schools get caught for. Like
Yeah.
there was that article basically almost identical to this.
Yeah.
Where it's like these like three like senior kids basically. They didn't say exactly. It was just all like anal penetration with like an object.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
like it was like
But-
at a party like that.
But this thing was called the making the team. What is it? A ritual?
Yeah, but that
And
was
that's for the females. Like
Yeah, yeah.
this guy thing, this gay thing is completely different. And I think if he is gay, then yeah, that other guy came onto him because he's hot for him.
I've got some weird theories about
Yeah, it's
like
kinda
what actually
strange.
happened
I mean-
in this because like it's
But
like
what if the other kids? Well, no, they knew.
well, no,
They
I started-
knew.
I
There's
started-
those two kids that he was talking to in the hall where they're all like don't say anything. He's like, "What? This little bitch is talking," or something
Yeah.
like that. They know what they
no,
did.
I think
but-
I think I don't
No, I
I don't
was
think
just-
that
I
they
was
know
going to
actually. I
hear-
think that they fucking
I was gonna say like I was theorizing that maybe they didn't know because he said that it happened in a bathroom.
I think that they're afraid of.
That was the guy in
I
the
think
car.
So
that they're.
maybe they didn't
I
know
think,
who was in the bathroom with him. They assumed it was a female.
I think that they're afraid of. I think that they're afraid. Those kids are afraid of getting caught for the drinking and the drugs.
It's too
I
late.
don't. No, I don't think that though. That
They're not even in trouble for it.
Yeah, exactly. But that they don't know that they aren't going to
And
get
what's
in trouble
the-
for
the
that,
little
you
bitch
know?
was talking-
They're really
They're-
afraid of that.
What they're really afraid of is the girls' ritual of what is it, making the team.
So those.
So all those guys were fucking girls there. That's the point of going to that thing. That's the point of the captain's party, was to get laid and initiate a female to making the team, which means you made the team, right? If you want to make the team, you gotta.
I didn't
you
even
gotta
think
fuck
about
this
that
chick.
when he said that.
That's
Like,
what it was.
Well, yeah, but I didn't think about like the rest of the team.
It's the whole
like-
team. It's the whole team. And those girls could have been drugged too, because they were probably passing out GHB all over the place.
Yeah.
They said they didn't find any in his bloodstream. But
Right.
Well,
in the
dude,
black
but it was
kids'
like it was
bloodstream.
a week later.
But that's a
though.
week later
that was
too.
that was
They did test the black
One
kids though
kid.
too.
Right,
You're
but he
about
but he
that.
might not have been doing the GHB. Or
Well,
with-
it
with
doesn't
other
even matter.
people.
Like I don't think that shit stays in your system that
doesn't.
long.
Yeah, the whole point
anyway.
of it is that
There's
like
other
it,
Like that's why
there's
it's
other
the rape drug though.
there's other
because
gay
it's
rape
like a
drugs
system
that
of,
stay
like,
in your
2
system like
days.
only like hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really heavy.
Well, that's gonna
heavy
be gnarly.
topics.
That's gonna be gnarly though. Like when that comes to, because like really, then if they continue with this investigation, they're gonna like start making a lot of girls look bad too.
Yeah, the whole team, that coach and his daughter. The daughter was probably at the party.
She was there.
Yeah, things
That's
are
for
about
sure
to get really
happening.
ugly for pretty much everyone.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
She
still-
made the team, dude.
I'm trying to figure out though, like, yeah, no kidding.
She's a gangbang princess.
I'm trying to figure out though, like how
Jesus.
the public high school though and the private high school side stories
Yeah.
are gonna intermingle because they do. They all the
Maybe they'll meet down by the tracks and have a West Side Story fight.
Yeah.
No,
With
it's going to
knives.
have something to do with the teachers. It will have to have something to do with the teachers. And then you also have the coach's wife who has, I'm pretty sure, some sort of like representative job at the private school too, right?
Yeah.
I would almost say like for, no, not fundraising, because that's what Felicity Huffman's
She seems to be like a
doing.
webmaster.
Felicity Huffman's life's going to fall apart before the end of this. Man,
Yeah.
she's way too, she's taking a lot of chances basically. Like really more chances than she should be given her job. And I kind of guess I get why she's doing it, because she thinks like, oh, if she stands up for the school this hard, then they'll continue to employ
She
her.
just looks like scum.
Yeah, she looks really bad.
That's
but like, I think
those
that's the
people's
point.
jobs, though.
Yeah,
They're all-
well,
That's,
I was
yeah,
gonna say
like that's her job.
They're all
Is-
about damage control.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, if she does that, if she looks scummy enough to the school, then they'll continue to protect her. But I think it's going to reach a point where they're basically going to blame it all on her.
Yeah, I mean,
And like,
at a certain
float
point,
her down the river.
at a certain point, somebody is going to need to pay for what happened, and
Yeah.
to make the public opinion change. You know, they're probably going to end up firing her because she's the PR person for
They
the
fired
school.
coach too.
Yeah,
And,
then both
yeah,
coaches
both coaches and her,
expel the kid.
and maybe expel the kid, maybe not.
I definitely-
Sometimes they don't do that.
I definitely feel like there's going to be some twist with the kid who got raped, though. Like
Like he wanted it.
like he did
That's what I was
something,
thinking,
or
too.
he was letting them do it, or some weird shit. Like he knew what was gonna happen, but he didn't really know what was gonna happen.
Does he or does he
something.
not seem to be on drugs or like questionable as personality? Because he acts so strange. Like I know he's supposed to be depressed or whatever about what just happened, shocked.
He was like kind of depressed before, but like
But he acts like he's high. His pupils are all dilated. But that's not. But
I don't
that's
know
not
if
the-
he acts
one
like
of the
he's
vibes
high.
I get is like that he might be gay.
I get the impression that he is hiding something.
Well, just-
He's obviously hiding
His
something.
pupils are dilated.
That's
He's
my-
like-
He might
He
be
said
a
that.
homosexual.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that
I mean, he
was
looks like he's
weird.
on drugs.
I know what
right?
you mean.
He looks like he's on drugs, but then he also acts like he's really feminine. Like
I don't
he has
think
a lot of. He has.
I think what you're confusing with femininity is being vulnerable.
I was gonna say like being
Yeah.
docile, kind of like
he's very
not
like,
standing up for himself,
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
type thing.
and you know that happens when people are severely depressed like that. And mind you, we've only seen this
That
kid
also
since a
happens-
week after this happened.
That also happens
Like-
when you're fucking abused sexually as
Yeah,
well.
that's what I
Like
mean.
it kind of takes all the confidence out of you, probably.
Yeah, but why would you? Why would you be after you got raped and you know you got raped and you don't want to talk about it, but you're in the gym with the guy that raped you, watching him play basketball?
Yeah.
I wondered about that too, but then I also thought, okay, well, what if he wasn't exactly sure what happened because
So
he
he
was
said-
drugged?
Dude, motherfucker knew what
I
happened.
think, yeah, that's
I
what
think
that's
the
what I'm saying.
pictures confirmed it
He
for
knows
him,
what
but before
happened, but he
that, I
doesn't
think
know
he was
how it
still
happened.
questioning
No.
maybe what happened.
That's what he's.
Maybe.
That's what he's saying right now. But I'm
Maybe
with
the pictures
AJ.
help
I'm
give him
with AJ
flashbacks,
on this
but-
one. I think that this kid actually, despite being so fucked up, I think he has very clear memories of what actually
He wants
happened
to
that night.
forget that it
Yeah,
happened.
well, he also doesn't want to go up against whoever raped him because, like, I think he's
or
like.
he might be angry.
Well, I
But
think
why would you
I
be
think
in the
he's
same room as
I think
this
he's
guy?
afraid of like confronting the rapist. Is what I get out of it.
Yeah,
Is
this
like
guy's in trouble. And we knew he was the rapist because in the first episode, he talks about raping an Asian chick.
oh that Eric kid.
That was just like,
Yeah,
He was
just
like,
like-
yeah,
I'm not
rape
gay. I
that.
won't rape
I
that
really
girl.
hope that that's not a trend, like like something that kids say now, because like that would bother me a lot.
I don't know, man.
Rape isn't cool to
People
joke about
talk
unless you're on
that
a,
shit like
unless
like
you're
when
on a stand-up
we were
comedy
in high
stage.
school.
Like what?
So people talked like that back when we were in high school.
Yeah,
Like,
it's getting worse now, I think. Because I think the internet culture is making people more, like...
idiots.
Well, they think they
Yeah.
can say whatever they want, that there's no consequences
Well,
for what they say.
I mean,
Exactly.
technically that's true, but it's like just training us, and it's like it's leaking out. Basically, it's going from the anonymity of the internet into real life.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird age we're in.
It's kind
Which
of
is
scary.
what this is touching on as well, because it has a lot to do with like internet,
Social media and how
yeah.
information spread, how rumors get started.
and reputations can get destroyed by it.
Yeah.
Lots of racial shit. Like it's really amping up the
Race card.
Yeah, and like
On all
part
sides.
of me is all like, damn, some of this is like obvious, and then I start like thinking like, oh man, do they really need to show some of this? And then in my head, it's like clicking though. It's like, man, prejudices are gonna be something that might never
Go
disappear.
away.
Yeah, it's
not
just like
anytime soon.
it's just something that's so fucking subconsciously ingrained though in people that even when you aren't like, it doesn't have to even have to do with like skin color. You can be prejudiced towards genders, and you can be prejudiced towards fucking even like animals, and like it's like anything.
Or people of different ages.
Well, I would think that prejudices is just like a natural part of thought, because basically nothing is simple. Everything in the universe is super fucking complex on some level, right? And so to exist and to be able to like form opinions and thoughts and like go through life normally, you have to like try to simplify shit down, and that's where these like really fucking
Well, it's also
crazy
part
like simple prejudices have come from,
Most of
because
it-
you like
of,
look
it's
at
part of survival
certain
instinct
things
too.
that you see, and then other things
You
that
have
people
to
tell you.
evaluate
Most of it all
what
just
could be
comes down
threats around you.
Most of it all just comes down to people trying to make themselves
Feel better.
Yeah,
Not
that's
better.
true too.
Feel like they're
Superior.
Yeah, a better person than some other person because of this.
Yeah.
But even
That's what
that
I'm
is
saying.
like prejudices like towards class, you know, like people with money or people without money, you know.
Like,
and,
if I'll tell you right now, if I was walking down a street and it's dark outside and I see a man coming towards me on the sidewalk, I might consider crossing the street and getting on the other side of the street. I don't know that man.
well, see, like here's the thing.
Not
is,
even
like,
based on
like
the color
Louis
of his
CK
skin or anything like that, but just the fact that he's a man.
Well, like in Louis C.K.'s stand-up, he says like, you know, men are like pretty much like the biggest thing that women have to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And that's true. And so like even though that's a prejudice like that you have
That's my
towards
survival
men,
instinct.
it's also completely logical, you know?
Yeah.
And so like
It's a primal instinct.
yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying though, is like I don't know if we could ever get past that.
Exactly.
Like there's always going to be something
agree.
that we're prejudiced against. Like it's just crazy that we're so prejudiced against like certain types of people, I guess. It's something that I can't say I don't even do. Like I don't feel like I do it, but then if you really like narrowed down things and went over like my whole life with a fine-tooth comb, I'm sure that I'm super prejudiced in some ways, or have been at least at one. Ugh.
There's no way to escape it. You're going to be prejudiced about something.
It just bothers me so much to see other people do it, and then in my head I have to remind myself like, dude, you are like them like that. Like not like them exactly, but you've done that before.
Well, I thought it was interesting in American Crime how the mom of
Taylor?
No, it's
the
Kevin?
other Kevin,
Yeah,
yeah,
Kevin.
Kevin's mom. She was kind of being a little prejudiced against
she's
black
She's
females.
definitely a self-hater.
Just doing it to white people were before that though.
Was she?
Yeah, but no,
she's
that
like,
white
she was
guy
white,
that yelled
of
at her.
course.
Oh yeah,
She's
that's
super
right.
racially
It's
charged.
just-
isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's
that's what I was
just-
gonna say. She seems like a really like racial, like that's a big deal to her race.
Yeah, there's gonna be a point where somebody fucking just says to her like, "Mom, you racist," and she's gonna be like, "I'm not. I can't be. It's gonna be heavy-handed because like her writing has been so far, but she's gonna be like, "Black people can't be racist" or something like that. But like then it's gonna click. In
Well,
her
and it
head.
kind of, they even said something like that when they were at the dinner. Like, she was saying, you know, like, that girl was asking me for help, and, like, you know, come on, sister. And she's like, white people don't have to deal with that. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just got this feeling that, like, she was basically saying that, like, oh, well, I can't be racist because I'm black. But, like, look at all these expectations of me because I'm
By the way,
black.
I would argue that I've definitely been in situations where like fucking white trash felt like it was okay to like they must have thought I was racist too, but like they felt like it was okay to like share some like super fucking racist ass shit with me. Just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, those people, you know, like I'm not racist, but I really hate black people, basically, like shit like that.
When I worked at Circuit City, I used to work there with this guy named well,
Let's
let's
not-
leave his name
yeah.
out of it. So
George.
So
Circuit City's
George.
out of business.
So George was like one of the best salesmen there, and we were talking, and then I went off, and he was taking care of a customer, and then
What
afterwards,
race was George?
he was a Mexican.
Okay.
He was a Mexican
Latino.
guy that spoke. He was, pretty American, but he's from Mexico. But he speaks like perfect English. You'd never even know. And he speaks Spanish too. And I never thought of him as a racist or anything. I just thought he was just a normal person, right? And so then he was dealing with his customer. And then after she left, he said something about white people. And then he looked at me and said, like, no offense. And then I said, my grandfather is Puerto Rican. And then he was like, oh, you're one of us. It's okay then. And I was like, no, I'm not one of you.
Yeah.
I'm not one of you.
I really don't like. I really just don't personally like being lumped into any group
Yeah,
in
I was
any
gonna
way.
say-
Yeah, I don't like that.
I feel like it kind of like it pedes
I'm
on
so
like.
many different races that it's ridiculous. I'm everything but black. If I might be. I don't fucking know.
Well, it's like
No,
Like,
you
so
are.
many-
No, you are.
Yeah.
No, we all are.
Because genetic bottlenecks, there's proof that everyone. That's where the
Technically,
Adam,
yes.
mitochondria Eve came from Africa, and that's
Yeah.
where all our DNA
And-
came from.
Yeah, and southern Italy was owned by the Moors for like however many years, and so there must be some black in me too. But whatever.
well, like, dude, if they were,
I've got so
if they
many
were
different
only,
races
if they
that I
were
can't
only,
really be racist and stuff.
Everybody-
I'm only racist against stereotypes.
Well, if they were only saying that, like in a genetic way, then I would have no problem with people like making comments like that. But they're
the
making
problem,
comments.
though.
They're
That's the
making
problem.
comments.
Can't be, though, because then you get into genetic racism.
Well,
And
they're
Yeah.
that's what
well,
Nazis are doing.
Okay, fair enough on that. But like, okay, if they were just saying something like, oh, like something about black people and brown skin, right? Like that's true. Black people do have brown skin, but like, I don't like it how like people will say like, oh, black people, and then that automatically means like, oh, they all think like this, they all act like this, and it's like, dude, nobody in any different.
It's a
of
sweeping
any
generalization.
The Hispanic lady
nobody
was-
of any genetics
that
fucking
Latina
acts
girl.
exactly like anyone else.
That Latina girl was trying to say the same thing to the guy.
Yeah.
Like
What'd she say?
that there's racism in even saying like pulling the black card and then that being a big problem, but if it's a Mexican, it's not a big problem because they're just Mexicans, and black people would cause more of an issue that's racial, a racial prejudice.
When they were
She-
talking
he
about
did
the
kinda-
breakfast program.
because that's the bigger problem in America.
Well, like he almost
black racism is more.
he didn't
is
mean to
more
even like, and he did a good job of like acting out that part, the black teacher guy, but he almost was like suggesting that, hey, if your race or gender isn't being beaten in the streets or fucking hit with a fire hose, like
Yeah,
shot
they're
with
just,
fire
they're just
hose,
getting chased
then-
down with
then it's
dogs
not
and then
so-
sent
No,
back
I
to
think
their
he was,
It's not
country.
so bad.
he was giving a distinction between that and breakfast being
I
different
feel like
in
it was-
civil
I
rights.
feel
Yeah,
like it
because
was
she said
definitely
the
a-
breakfast
all
thing
about
was
civil
a
rights
civil rights
issues.
issue.
Civil
like-
rights issues cover a lot of ground, though, and I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but-
like,
but
you
you even
breakfast
made
But
fun
the
of it.
breakfast thing is the same as the back of the bus thing.
No, it's not though, because he even made fun of it when it happened. Is because she was saying, he was like, why can't they get their kids there on time? And he's like, for some people, or she's like, for some people that's impossible.
That
It's
isn't,
like that's
though.
not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting
leave
your
half
kids to
hour
school
early.
on
If
time.
it doesn't work, leave an hour early.
I'm
Like-
not saying that her shit actually was a civil rights issue, but what I am saying is that your civil rights issues don't start at being like fucking fire hose. They don't start at being attacked with dogs.
Yeah, but-
they can start at the fucking school level. It's just that that her problem wasn't one. It
Well-
really was irresponsible parenting, and
And
it's
is
like,
it-
dude, you can't like really say this is a civil rights issue.
And
It's nothing like about Mexicans that like, oh, they can't get their kids to school early because of
Mexicans are always late. Is that
yeah,
their-
Yeah,
that's
that's what
what
they're
she
trying
was
to say.
saying.
And like,
Because their parents, for some
see,
reason.
like what I got
Yeah.
out of it was like, okay,
That's like
these
saying we need to serve these black kids chicken.
Yeah.
what I got out of it
Jesus.
was that like what they were saying was that these kids were getting free breakfast during the first period of school.
Because that's when they get there.
And yeah, because that's when they get there. They can't get there before school actually starts and whatever. But
was like a
my
health
issue with
initiative
that is
thing.
like, how much of a distraction is that to the other kids that are actually trying to sit down
Well, see,
and do
they're
their
not-
reading or
they're
their
not-
math or whatever
they're
they're
not
supposed to be
getting the
doing
food.
in first
It depends
period.
on how hungry
They're not
they
getting
are.
the food in the classroom. They have to go to the cafeteria,
Are
probably.
you sure?
No, but I mean, they're not going to go
'Cause I'm
around
like-
to each classroom and give the 2 or 3 kids.
I think they have to go to the cafeteria.
Yeah,
to
what
get
if they
food
go to
and
the
then
cafeteria and then go to class? Because I don't think they're just getting excused from first period every day.
They're not. They don't go.
It should apply to every race. It shouldn't just be
Well, no,
neutral
it's,
thing.
but
shouldn't
that's
be
where
like,
it comes
well,
into it that it's all a racial issue because
Yeah.
it's
a poor racial issue. It's
'Cause
more of a everybody.
it can't
thing.
be that Latino kids are the only ones that don't get to school on time. To
Yeah,
have this
it
breakfast.
can't be.
That's the other thing I didn't like about it is that like the public school.
Like,
I
it's-
went to public school and there was a lot more like diversity than that.
I'll put it
like,
this-
I just saw Mexicans.
I'll put
and
it
black
this
people
way
in a
though,
room
like
together.
Silicon Valley,
Like, it was half
public
and half.
Silicon Valley public school though isn't the same as
I was gonna
like
say-
inner city
middle
public
school,
school.
That's
Yeah.
true. It's Indiana, but
Indiana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It's
It's
Indiana.
got to be
Oh,
near.
okay,
It's
okay,
got to be
okay.
near Indianapolis because
it's not
dude,
San Jose because
there's-
it's not. It's
Yeah,
Leland, I know.
yeah. No,
There's
it's
straight up
just-
no fucking other places in Indiana though that are like that populated almost. Like that's a big city. It looks
Pawnee?
like for Indiana. Yeah, right.
we don't know that.
I'm
never
pretty
been to
sure
Indiana.
almost. I've looked at maps of Indiana a few times. They're just as sparse as Illinois.
I
is,
went
I'll put it
I went
that way.
to public school here in San Jose, and it was pretty rough. I mean, there were people getting stabbed. There were
Yeah.
fights
You're
every
Gun-
single
Gunderson,
day.
you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, we went to-
Oh,
yeah,
you went to Gunderson?
yeah,
Oh, so you were there when the kid got beheaded.
yeah.
Yeah. My friend was Asian and he got called into the cafeteria. I mean, not the cafeteria, but the gym. Because every Asian was called to the gym that day.
Wait. Are you talking about the thing at Light Rail?
Yes.
That kid didn't get beheaded.
Yes, he did with
No,
a
he
machete.
didn't.
Yeah,
No,
he did.
Yes, he did with a
I
machete.
heard it was a katana, but
No,
It was a machete.
I know, but that's just fucked
A
up.
Vietnamese
Now
gang
it's-
jumped
it's-
these two kids.
No, I remember what
And
happened,
they
but-
beheaded the older
It was at the
brother
light.
in
It
front
was
of
at
the
the light
younger
rail
brother.
station.
It was at the
I
light rail
guess-
station right next
Yeah.
to Gunderson. And
I
I remember
remember
when
I
that
saw-
happened, I wasn't allowed to take the light rail anymore. My mom
It was the light
forbade
rail.
it, and
it
I
was
had
the light
to.
rail station right across from Oak Ridge, right?
Yeah, down the street
well,
from
not
Oak
right
Ridge.
across down the street. Like
Over the
if you go
overpass.
down, like it's
Yeah.
It
yeah,
would
like
go. It
technically
would
the one
go.
across the street from Oak Ridge is like right across the street.
Yeah,
from Oak
it would
Ridge. This
go-
one's
it
like
would
on the
go
other side
to
of the
that one.
overpass.
Okay. So the one
And so
right
I had to
before it.
walk all the way from Gunderson all the way up to across the street from Oak Ridge because I lived in the apartments right across the street from there.
Yeah,
I
and
used
that's
to
where kids
I used
went,
to
and
see
that's
the
where the kid got
memorial.
beheaded.
I guess I
Yeah.
just forgot his head got
Yeah,
chopped off.
the kid's
Yeah.
head got chopped off.
I remember they fucking
That's
brutally
just
murdered them with
all
like
the
swords
Asians.
and.
That's
knives.
even more fucked
No, they
up
did.
than
They
I heard it
segregated
was-
all the Asians from the school into the gymnasium, and then they
And we had a lot of
investigated
Asians.
all of them.
Yeah.
Something like that happened actually when I was at San Jose State too, where two of the Asian fraternities had
Yeah.
like a knife fight in a park,
Oh,
and like
Kappa?
some dude almost fucking got killed there too, or
Kappa,
if
Sigma, or
or
whatever.
he did get
It
killed.
wasn't a very
I
good
can't-
knife fight if no one got killed.
Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, right. I can't remember. It probably did kill somebody.
I'm like,
I can't-
that's
Either way,
always
though,
what
I was just
happens
like,
in knife
damn,
fights.
Asians like to stab people.
So that's racist.
It is racist, but like, I mean, those were the two things that happened.
I
Like
can't
that
even
during
remember
that
who I
time.
heard it
Our
from.
school was Leland, and our school was mostly just rape stories.
Yeah, and continuing on after we left, worse ones. But
Yeah, child porn and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. That's why I'm laughing every time I see that this school
Leland,
looks
yeah.
like Leland has the same exact letter, insignia, has the same exact colors.
I kind of get a
everything.
kick
It
out
looked
of it
like
'cause
blue
I'm
and
like,
gold
yeah,
at first,
talk
but
shit on
it's like
Leland.
purple and gold.
They don't want to get sued, and Leland would sue them.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's actually based on Leland?
No.
No, but I think that they used Leland as an example because they probably did research.
I wouldn't list it as not a possibility. I'll put it that way.
They probably Googled a lot of research, and at the time that they were writing the script, Leland probably came up.
I
and
think
they
there's a lot of
probably
writers
took
that live around here too. I'm just saying. Like,
Maybe I don't know. I hope I meet some of them.
Well, but yeah, like the racial type stuff going on in this show. It's
It's now starting to come into play.
it's also something that was in the first season also.
Okay.
But I also kind of understand it because it's supposed to be about an American crime, right? And how like a big crime it would affect an entire community. And really, like, a full community, like, perspective on something does have to come from, like, a bunch of different races.
Yeah.
Also.
The only thing that I noticed that this is really affecting is the basketball team and two parents.
You can see the ripples happening, though. It's gonna hit the fucking school eventually. It's gonna hit those girls that were part of making the team procedure.
I also think Eric is bisexual.
I'm
I
pretty
think you want him to be bi.
No, because he's looking at chicks' pictures and stuff. Like,
To keep up the facade.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Because
no,
you know.
maybe not, because he's talking to his brother, and his brother's like, dude, I want to go to your
Dude.
school, because there's so many chicks.
I
that
seriously
get lots
thought
of
that
women,"
guy
and
was
he
going to be like,
like,
I want to go there so I can rape too. Like,
And he's
that's what he
like,
seemed like.
I will teach you, brother.
I
Is
think
that his brother or his friend?
it's his
Brother.
The one that
Okay.
was in the diner with him, at least.
They acted really strange.
He looked
Um,
shady, yeah.
Well, Eric's like getting ready for the bricks to fall down on him, I think. But like, I think that
Eric's
Eric.
getting his kicks in
I think
now.
Eric being the rapist actually though
He's gonna
is.
love prison.
I think Eric being the rapist is actually a red herring.
I
think
don't
that-
Eric
think
looks
he's the
more and
rapist.
more
I
like
think-
he has HIV.
I think Kevin's actually the
I
rapist.
think Kevin did it too.
Because like, dude, if you look at his mannerisms with the girls and how he's always trying to like force
but they
himself
only
on
found,
them.
but they only found one guy's semen inside.
They didn't.
No,
they
they
didn't
didn't-
exclude
they didn't-
Kevin.
I didn't think they found it on inside.
They found
of
it
him.
on the
True.
It was on
clothes.
the
Yeah.
sides, yeah.
So
So,
it would have
like-
been Eric that did it.
Technically, it could have been more than one person, but like, I'm
Well, they
just.
said that the stuff that was on the sweater was not Kevin's.
That's true. They did
Did
say
they
that.
say it wasn't Kevin's
Yeah.
or that it wasn't Taylor's?
No,
Said
No, they
wasn't
said it
Kevin's.
wasn't Kevin.
Taylor's
Well, no,
semen
because sometimes they have to.
from
I mean,
prostate
they.
milking.
Well, they double check. I mean, it's being thorough, making sure that that semen doesn't actually belong to the victim.
As it is,
they wouldn't
okay.
have mentioned it if it
Here's
was
who
his, though.
here's who I think knows about
His
the
own.
rape though from the basketball team is I think Kevin knows, I think Eric knows, and I think the coach knows. I think
And those two
three,
other boys.
I think those three people, and like, dude, also now the wife dropping hints that the coach doesn't want anything to do with her sexually, like she hasn't been able to get his attention
Mm-hmm. No,
like
I
that
think
in a
he's
while.
in on it.
Like he knows something,
I think
or
he got off on it.
he was like watching or something.
Yes, I think he was
I
watching and
the
got
way
his
he was-
jollies off.
The way he was
Oh, they're
talking,
gonna find stuff on his phone.
Yeah.
the way he was talking about Kevin, he's a little too concerned.
Yeah,
And the
I
way,
think he's
and
like
the way
calling
he
him all the
filmed
time.
I
his
think he might
daughter.
have done something to Kevin before.
Well, I
and,
think like
The coach?
yeah.
I think Kevin was
The
the
coach
one.
is into black dudes.
I think the coach. Okay,
I saw he was getting
if we
handy
want
with
to, if
that
we
other
want to
guy.
get really disgusting with it,
Yeah.
I think Kevin is the one who fucked the kid because he's sexually frustrated. I think Eric might have double teamed him because Eric just likes dudes too.
Or he just
and
watched.
I think the coach just watched. I think the semen's from either Eric or the coach.
I think
so.
the coach watched and possibly videotaped it.
They're gonna like
Eric
test
could
it.
be saying
Because he was
just
really
kiss.
handy with taping his daughter when she was twerking on that
Yeah.
guy. Like, he
Oh,
knew
so
how to use the
weird.
camera hella good.
The people in the
Eric-
show are actually really good, by the way, with taking video cameras, like videos
Yeah.
with cameras. It's like
Yeah,
literally
he
they
was still
whip that
doing it-
shit
he was
out.
Still doing it vertical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got
So-
it. His really good, but like, dude, the Kevin's mom in the beginning too of the second episode.
Because it's like the third or fourth take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've gotten
know, but
used
like,
to it.
dude, some people are that good with their phones though. They just look like done, got a camera going.
I think those
Anyway.
people don't use their phones at all for
Eric-
like anything else other than that.
I think Eric, when he was messing with that dude in the Mustang, and then he told him like, "I just want to kiss. I don't want to fuck." I think Eric's sick with a disease, and I think he knows he's sick with something.
They
and he
also
doesn't
did
wanna
bring up the
spread it.
HIV
Yeah.
and told the mom, like, you'll have to...
They brought it up a lot, the HIV
Yeah,
thing.
they were really hinting at that, so...
And Taylor looks sick, like TV AIDS sick, and
There's
Eric
no way
looks
he-
TV
But there's
AIDS.
no
got
way he'd
AIDS,
have
he wouldn't
AIDS
be
that
that
quickly.
sick. Like,
Like,
You're right, but it's TV.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's
I'm
television
starting
we're
to
talking
think-
about.
or what
maybe-
if
And AIDS could take
Taylor
a month
gave
to
it
show
to Eric?
Well, no,
They
I
both
think
have
Like, what if
I think-
Taylor had it?
I
They
think
have
the
a
Whole
coach.
school's got
They
AIDS.
have
No, I
Ultra
think the
AIDS.
coach maybe gave it to Eric because in the first episode.
Coach doesn't have AIDS.
No, dude, how do you
He
know?
might! He might!
No, that's what I was gonna
AIDS
say
coach.
is that conversation that him and his wife were having in bed, and how like the wife was saying like, you know, we used to like think like, oh, 60s were old and like you were gonna die soon if you were getting to your 60s, but now we're almost there and like it feels young and stuff like that. Might be hinting that the coach might be sick.
Well,
That
I'm
he
very
might be-
looking forward to finding out who has AIDS.
Yeah,
Someone's got AIDS.
Someone's got AIDS,
I'm pretty
apparently.
sure Taylor has AIDS now.
More than one person has AIDS.
I'm pretty sure Taylor
I'm
has
pretty
AIDS. the
sure
rape
everyone
victim.
has AIDS.
Everyone.
Taylor's girlfriend better get checked.
No, he's not doing
He's
anything
not
with
fucking
her. I
her,
don't think.
You think
Yeah.
it's because he's gay?
I think so.
I don't know,
I think
maybe.
Ian's right. I think she's kind of like a gay wife type
What do
thing.
they call that?
Where
Like a
she-
bib or
A
something?
beard.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
A beard.
What's a beard?
A fake
It's
one.
a,
fake
it's a fake wife.
Why do they call it that?
Or a fag hag.
Oh my god.
Because it
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've
No,
heard that used
actually,
in a different context,
actually, a fag
actually.
hag is just like a woman
Girl
who
that
likes
likes
to
hanging out with gay
be,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, but
A
A beard
beard.
is
The
a
reason they call it
fake
that is
girlfriend.
because a beard
You use it to
hides
cover up.
your face. It covers up your face, and it covers up who you really are. Or that's
Doesn't
what
really
that's
do
that's
that.
what Freud thought.
What?
And so, like, gay men that have beards, the wives, they're covering up the fact that they're gay by putting on this
So, like,
appearance that they are
I'm sure to
heterosexual.
Freud, if you have hair at all on your body and you're fucking wearing clothes that you're trying to hide something, like
But that's
any of
not
that.
it.
That was what
It's
he
just
thought
a-
the whole
it's
time
just a
about
slang.
everything. Yeah.
It's just a slang.
I'm just saying
Weird.
that's another part of
colloquialism.
it is the Freudian
Fair enough, I
like
guess.
understanding of what
Yeah.
a beard is.
It's just a hiding.
Man, Freud was a
True.
paranoid fucking cokehead.
Well, he was hiding a lot of stuff too. I mean, he had a massive tumor in his neck that he was hiding with a beard.
Oh really?
Straight up,
That's where that comes from.
straight
He
up,
really
he was a
wanted to bang his
cokehead though.
mom?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted penises in his mouth.
Yes. And he was constantly smoking a cigar. The oral
And
fixation
talking
they
about
talked
it.
about. Yeah.
Like talking about that means you want dick in your mouth.
Yeah.
No, but then it also, you said sometimes a cigar is just a
He
cigar.
didn't say that.
Whenever he was smoking it.
That's a quote from another person.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Cosby.
His cigar was not
man.
a cigar. Yeah, right.
It's a Cosby sweater.
All right, so
It's a cigar.
I'm actually like really getting into American Crime, and I'm kind of excited to see where it's gonna go. It's like
think
not
it's
like the
AIDS.
most exciting show ever, but like I feel like it really like kind of hits those points as to like what would happen if
I think it's
This
doing a
was
better job than
happening.
season 1 did as far as like giving you something that feels like you could realistically be reading about this.
Yeah.
Like in a
More
in a
has happened
newspaper.
in these first 3 episodes than like the full first half of the first season, I think.
yeah.
A lot of like
first
speculation
season
went
was
on
just-
in the first season
Well, it's
where
just
it was
that,
like
well,
nobody really knew what the fuck was happening, and even
Mm-hmm.
by the end of that show you still didn't really know what particularly happened. You just kind of have to make some assumptions on
There are
it.
just a lot of characters, and you'd only get to see them for like maybe a minute or two at a time.
A lot of stuff was left open
Yeah.
to interpretation, and then like things got like mixed up. Like at like the end was just explosive. That's what the ending
It's
was.
like, well, it's
it didn't
Well,
really
a lot of
resolve
stuff definitely
anything.
happened. Like from the point where they were at that coke house and she stabbed that guy in the neck
Yeah.
to like the very end. It's like just a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck is happening? Like once they get imprisoned is when it's kind of like slows down again. But still, it's really fucking weird from that point.
I wish they wouldn't blank out the scene in the editing when they
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, that's just weird.
It's so
like
you can't see their mouth make the shape.
I know, but it makes me like it takes me out of the element. for
Yeah,
a
it
second.
does.
I
It
get-
ruins the mood of like what you're watching.
it'd be different if like they were doing that during other scenes and it like meant something. It was like somebody was
They-
having
they
a
did
weird
it
like
when-
somebody was having a weird mental thing, you
They
know,
did
and
it
like
when-
you could just feel the pressure building up, and then there'd be some black flashes. You
They
know?
did it in the
But-
gay kiss scene.
Yeah.
Oh well, technically you're right. They did do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little too gay for TV.
No, it was just too.
Okay, so you can't word the mouth fuck the you can't word
Mouth
the
You
word,
can't
mouth,
mouth
the
the
word
word
fuck.
This is a
But-
bad sentence.
Or
Yeah,
asshole.
you can't mouth the word fuck, but
Fuck
or
that.
asshole or anything. or
You
butt
can't
or
mouth
anything
fuck
like
the
that.
word that.
But
fucking-
just,
You
if you're
can
gonna
you
blank
can
it out,
fuck the mouth.
if you're gonna blank it out, if you're gonna blank it out and give us a black screen for a second, don't even fucking say it. Just
Yeah.
give us a different
Yeah.
word.
I think they had it filmed and everything, and they're just like, no, we can't do that.
That would make
I think
sense
there's.
if
I
this,
think they
that
just
would
want
make
to sell the Blu-ray.
that would
on
make
video.
sense if it wasn't season 2. You know, like
Season
but-
1 did it too.
No. Season 1 didn't do that shit at all, from what I could tell. Like, but what I'm saying is that this
The-
show wasn't like made
the main
and then
thing-
sold to ABC.
The main
it was
thing, though,
already
is-
bought by ABC.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
could've
knew that
edited
they were
it.
gonna-
The FCC basically doesn't exist anymore, so
It's the network's
the
decision.
companies themselves are the only thing that stopped them from doing things like that.
That has nothing to
so
do with
they
the
could have
choice
made
to-
the decision
The-
before
the
they
network
had
makes
it.
the decision whether or not.
And then
to.
at
That
the
has
end, they're
nothing
like,
to do
no.
with the fucking creator's choice, though. Like, okay, like you said,
the
if it's-
creator, the creator
if
made
it's
it, and then
Blu-ray,
the network
if
was
they
like,
want to
cut it.
save
That's
that
my
though
point,
for
was-
Blu-rays, like then what they should do is they should fucking film 2 cuts.
Yeah.
One where they don't drop the F-bomb, and then one where they do drop the F-bomb, not just fucking have a blank part of a screen.
Well, sometimes you
It's
watch
kind of
movies and
annoying.
they just say like they dub over it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
where are all the dubbers?
Sometimes
like it
the
feels
dubbing's
like there
funny,
used to
too.
be like tons of
Yeah.
like dub work that was done for like TV movies and
Yeah.
shows and stuff.
Sometimes the dub works
And
funnier
like,
than
yeah,
the
it was really
person.
funny. Like, just do that.
What are you doing, you freaking ham ram?
Yeah.
Mother lovers.
Ham
Yeah.
Asshole would be kind of a harder
You
one.
hamburgered my stuff up.
Asshole, hamhole, you hamhole.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a real word.
Give
Like,
it
they
to
would
me,
use
ham hock.
crazy stuff all the time.
I think it would definitely take more away than even
It would.
the,
It
the
would make
black
it-
screen
yeah.
does. But I mean, like, dude, they could easily just film it without it and then be all like, oh, here's this one fucking second of the unedited version for the Blu-ray later on. They can even use it as a marketing tactic, you know?
I'm pretty sure that the guy made it, and then the network got pissed, and we're like, we're just gonna black it out.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, is like, if it was season 1, I could see that. But season 2, you already know you're making this shit for a fucking ABC. So I don't understand how he thought you could drop F-bombs.
Maybe because they were like, no FCC? Alright.
That's still like...
Yeah, but no.
Even everything that happened in season 1 is still kind of like a departure from anything that's ever been on ABC before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true, but like...
This is the most intense show I've ever seen on network.
It's just language. Like, if you can have a show like Breaking Bad where literally they avoid the word fuck, like, almost the entire show, then I don't see why you can't do it in a show like this. Literally, the only time in Breaking Bad where there was fuck was on that one note. It was like, it said, like, fuck you, and Mike wrote it. Yeah, they smeared out the F, or the stuff after the F.
He just stopped writing it, because what's his name was spelling it out with his bell.
No, if you look at that scene, dude, it's like, it's got that weird blurry editing over everything after the F. It did say fuck you, though. But yeah, no, they could have done that better. That was annoying, you're right.
Yeah, it just took me out of my element when I was watching it. It was just a poor editing decision, but it's going to happen for the rest of the season.
At least they didn't not be there, and then they how they put the mosaic over people's mouths.
Oh yeah, don't do that either.
Yeah,
don't do it. Just let it flow.
I'm definitely going to like to watch the fucking reality of the world fall on the coach's daughter's face, though. I hope that there's a sex tape.
I bet there's gonna be a lot of stuff falling on her face.
Coach's semen.
A lot of Chuck Berry going on.
Farting in my mouth.
Smell my fart, bitch. Does that seem like it's it for the night?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. American Crime.
X-Files is coming. Venture Brothers is coming. What else is coming to TV?
That's...
Yeah,
I actually made a list.
Yeah, I'm like, there's other shit.
Is anybody excited for Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I think we're in dangerous territory for Game of Thrones, because we're reaching the point where it's going to be past the books.
It already is past the books.
No, it's not. It's not.
Some of it has gone past already.
Very slightly, but not really in the whole of it. It's still basically at the end of the last book.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the very end of the last book was Daenerys being taken away.
And Jon.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like...
They showed Bran in the trailer.
Yeah, that's the one thing that...
I haven't actually even seen the trailer yet.
Bran actually was in it a little bit more in the books at this point.
He was. I think they're just going to show that stuff.
But, yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. But they're in dangerous territory. What I mean by that is, though, is because what if it's bad? Like, what if the stuff they make up is just all like...
Well, it's not just stuff that they made up. They met with Martin.
Yeah, but they're still making it up.
He told them where he's going with the story.
Yeah, but that's
then they ran ideas past him, and he said, yeah, that'll fit in.
That's like, I'm going left here and right there. That's not like whole like
put it this way, like,
I'm just saying they work together on it. It's not just like they're just making it up all by themselves. Like
they aren't.
He
basically said, "This is where I'm taking it."
I read an interview with the writers where they said that they spoke with him.
I know. I've seen that too. It's they're making up stuff that he basically had no comment on. Like he told them where it's going, and then they get to make stuff up.
Yeah,
even if fucking George R.R. is fucking agreeing to what they're writing too, like the fact of the matter is they don't have the road basically written out for them in crazy amounts of detail like it was before that they can just cherry pick from. So it's
they know
still,
everyone's endpoint. They don't know how they get there.
So
and that's what I heard. That it's like they're gonna go their own way, but they're going to end out in the same spot as George is going to at the end of his
I'm just saying there's a lot more risk of fuck up. Like, it's definitely like ups the
television
the
writers scare me. Television writers scare me.
Well,
they can either do it better than the book or they do it worse.
But this isn't even going to be on the book. That's the we almost are getting to a point too where if it's bad enough.
But there's characters that
George R.
exist in the book and exist
if it's bad enough though, I could even see George R. Martin's like distancing his books from it. You know, deciding to go a different way.
That's also like something I've thought of for a while is a problem with it is because of this, we're never possibly going to get the true ending of what it would have been.
That we were going to.
Because it's all going to be influenced by the TV show now.
Yeah.
And he's fucking old.
He might not even get there, finish it.
He won't. I don't think he will. I think it's going to be whatever you saw on the TV.
Because there's still at least one more book after this next one that he's almost done with.
What he needs to do is he needs to write the last...
I thought that there were 2 more after the next one.
I can't remember exactly.
I think they signed for 2 more seasons.
No, the books.
There's one more book that he's about to finish, and then he said there's at least one more that he had planned, but I'm not...
Yeah, I thought it was like... Wait, how many books are we at right now, actually?
6?
Yeah, 6.
that
Or
exist.
5. This next one is the 6th one coming out.
Okay, then it isn't 2. I was like, because I thought the number that kept stuck into my head was 7. 7 books is what it was supposed to be, and
yeah, that is 7.
that would be, yeah. And the fact of the matter is like, even if the books are good, even if they're really good, there's no way that the books aren't going to be affected by the show. It's like the ideas cannot exist in a vacuum in a world where the show exists, because the show is just really fucking powerful. It's really good.
It shows better than the book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The book is really hard to follow.
The book is good. It's just the show, like, how do I put it? The book has a lot of, like, run-on stuff where it's just like, this stuff doesn't really matter to the main picture.
I feel like the books are
I would
actually...
skip chapters even.
The whole
I feel like
book was basically like that.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like the books are perfect for people who love the show and want to delve deeper into the lore.
It's almost
Or
like an
people that love
alternate
Lord of the
universe,
Rings.
though.
Yeah, but still, like, it's the same characters,
like,
though.
Same characters.
And
That's what I mean,
settings.
alternate universes, because descriptions of things are different, and like they'll describe characters in it, like people, like the armor in the show is awesome, but the descriptions of the armor in the book are like people wearing like full like ruby and gem encrusted chest plates and all these crazy colors and everything, and it's unrealistic stuff, you know.
Yeah, but like, would you say that it's like as much of like an alternate universe as, like, let's say the Walking Dead comic and the Walking Dead show?
Yeah,
Right? Well,
it's basically exactly.
but there's
like
crazy differences in that show, like where certain characters never existed.
There's
certain
huge
characters.
differences.
Okay, there are. Okay.
John died a
Walking
completely
Dead.
different way.
Oh.
Not completely different, but definitely different.
Yeah.
Like that was
Interesting.
almost like what happened.
No,
That actually-
no
still-
spoilers,
yeah, I was gonna
because
say-
I just finished the
That
first
actually
book.
That
makes
wasn't-
me want to read the books more than anything.
It was just a little different. The whole Castle Black situation is just a little bit different.
Yeah, John's actually not even like the
Better or
character in the
worse?
show. John's character in the book is like, he's more of like a I don't really care badass.
Well, it's
And
more
in
like
in the show
these
he's more like a
situations
emo.
keep being thrust upon him.
and
like-
he takes the job though.
Yeah.
And he takes it like a man does.
Yeah.
But
he's basically like doing like the Stark thing.
yeah, and in the show he's more like emo about his parents being dead and everything being sucked.
I never really saw it like as him being emo, more so than I felt like what you guys were saying, like where he just had shit thrown at him and he was dealing with it. I feel like that's what was happening to Jon Snow for like half to like 2/3 of his story, but then like the last third was like him, like he was choosing to do all that shit. Nobody was telling him to do any of that. Like he was like putting himself in that situation, and like if he didn't do it then bad stuff would have happened, right? But he definitely had the choice to not do it. Like it wasn't like he had to like go to the wildlings and talk them out of that shit, and it wasn't like he had to take up command of the black.
That whole situation comes down to like the Stark honor, where it's basically he had made a decision and he had given his word to the Knights of the Black or whatever, and if he went against that, it'd go against like everything that like his.
But he already
honor
did go against that.
No.
Didn't he disappear for a while? I thought when like lived with the wildlings and they almost didn't even take him.
He got taken prisoner. Him and basically they went above the wall because I can't remember exactly why, but him and the Ward Mormont or whatever, they went up to see that guy who was giving the babies to the White Walkers.
Uh-huh.
And
Custer.
Yeah, and what exactly happened? I can't remember. They got attacked or something, and then they went back to that guy's house, and then Mormont got killed by his men.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they were escaping from that situation, they got captured by wildlings. I can't remember exactly why.
Yeah, me neither.
But basically they got captured, and him and this guy called Half Hand got captured, and Half Hand basically said, like, kill me because they're going to make us fight each other to the death for which one will get to join them.
Was this in the show?
Yeah.
I don't remember
the guy
in the
basically
show.
He was just it's they talk about him more in the book, but in this is just like he's an older ranger guy, and basically he lets Jon Snow kill him.
Yeah, he does.
Like literally the only thing I remember from when he was in prison with the
This is before they get to that.
This is
whole
when they were
big
in chains.
civilization.
They were heading off to see when they first saw the giant.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
like, all I remember is him fucking the wildling girl and that
That's
fucking.
way after.
That's way after.
That's after he's already been accepted as a wildling.
Yeah.
Like, and all of this is he's basically undercover to get back to the.
I remember
Knights.
that part, but
all of that, none of it. The only thing he broke there was his vow of celibacy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but he
And
was
that's
still a crow.
bullshit anyway, because like they even say that all of the crows sneak away to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last part.
Yeah.
One of the last parts of the first book. He like runs away, and like he's afraid to go into the town because he knows that there will be other like men of
Yeah.
the Night's Watch there, like with prostitutes.
Yeah,
and
they
he'll get
always do
caught.
that. The main reason that would have been bad though is because it was with a wildling.
Yeah, like
For
the
sure.
enemy. So
Well, anyway, we're all afraid for Game of Thrones, it sounds like.
We're ready.
But it's a good type of afraid, where it's like,
Winter's coming.
we care about it a
I
lot.
fucking hope so.
Yeah,
It
right?
needs to get to that point where there's a huge full-scale battle, like another one with the White Walkers.
And dragons.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dragons and
I
fucking...
want them to come in and
and
carpet
the
bomb.
unsullied...
I want the dragons to
fucking-
be even fucking bigger this season.
All sorts,
They will
and
be.
giants and fucking all sorts of the crazy shit.
Even
And
though
the
it's-
green fire.
Yeah,
It's all got to be going on. Because it's like last-ditch effort, right? If the White Walkers win, everybody's dead.
well, do you remember what? What was it? Can't remember exactly, but someone saw a vision of the future.
Mm-hmm. And
It
it's
was-
just all ash.
It was the King's Landing, the King's Chamber, and the roof was collapsed in, and it was just all covered in ash, and like it was.
But it looked like
was
snow.
nuclear
It looked
winter.
like snow at first.
Yeah.
But
wasn't
then,
that Daenerys' vision?
yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
it was
From
either
when she went to the Red House.
Because then
It was
she
either
looks.
Daenerys
Because then she
or,
looks
uh,
up and she sees the fucking dragon fly
It
by.
was either Daenerys or
Bran.
Bran.
Yeah.
Could have
I
been
can't
him
remember.
too. But
It's gonna be awesome.
you know what I find myself wondering about with Game of Thrones though is what's above the North.
Water.
You know, like way the is it just a big fucking island and like
So there's some islands up there, but I don't think there's anything else. I think the planet's pretty small.
It's
Okay.
it's one big continent. It's like Pangea.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, not big because there's that ocean separating. It's more like if North America and Canada were there, and then like
Couple
Australia
islands.
was over to the
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And that was it.
'Cause
The
that's-
planet's small.
that's
It's like the size of
Westeros.
the moon, maybe.
Yeah, but like okay, you see on this map like up here, you see how it just stops?
Yeah, that's
Like
'cause
what the
that's
fuck's
top.
up there?
Ice? I don't know.
So it just ends off?
They never talk
Yeah,
about
see
it.
that's what I'm
Never talk
saying
about
is like I wonder if like there's just not like fucking a
Discovered
huge
lands?
South American like sized like continent
I mean,
above
just
that.
undiscovered lands.
Yeah.
They would have discovered them, I think.
You would think so, but like how long did
The
America
oldest-
go?
the
fucking
oldest
without
civilizations
people
that
knowing
they-
about it?
The oldest civilizations they talk about is like Old Valyria, and
The
that's
Andals.
old. That's old. That's after Old Valyria, like because Old Valyria is where Daenerys is,
Yeah.
and there's like basically this giant ghost city that is just for some reason has been abandoned and destroyed, and like that's where civilization in there began.
Well,
Well-
I mean, Beyond the Wall.
Yeah.
Beyond the
Like,
Wall is definitely that's north. That's where the
That's
wildlings
the
are.
lands of Always Winter.
Okay,
That's
so
what
like
they
you
call it.
assume
It's like
you assume
North
like
Pole.
yeah, it's like the North Pole. But I don't know. They're not ever gonna address this in the show or the books. But in the back of my head, I just wonder like, oh, if you just kept pressing on north, like, would you reach this place where like basically like, oh, all the Westeros shit is like happening in a bubble?
No, I'm pretty sure you'd
And-
just reach King's Landing.
What?
You'd probably just reach King's Landing.
Just wrap back around
Yeah.
for sure.
Maybe
Okay.
there's a huge chunk
They
of
talk
water
about
over
it
there.
literally to go from where the Starks live, just south of the wall, down to King's Landing, taking like months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
but that's by horse.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go a significant
If you
amount
took a
of.
boat, it would be a lot faster.
Well, remember, there's like hills and shit too, dude. Like, it's never gonna be a straight line shot, really.
Yeah, but it's still like it's.
Like,
a
think how
pretty
long it takes to get
significant
to Santa
distance.
Cruz, even though Santa Cruz is only like what 20 miles away.
It's 30-minute. It's a 45-minute drive.
But like the
But
miles.
you have to
from
go
here
through
to
a
there
mountain.
is, like,
Yeah, yeah,
not that far.
If that path was being made for something that went slower, I'm pretty sure they would have actually tried to make a path. You know, like what they used to do.
Well, I mean,
what
they had
used
the
to do
King's
with,
Road.
Yeah, but what they used to do with trains, they couldn't make paths like that, so they had to make relatively straight paths.
I'm just saying it probably took like a good like month to get from the top of Europe to the bottom of Europe, fucking with horses. Also,
It's like almost like a year round trip.
in Westeros.
Yeah, to go there and then back. At least that's what it seemed like. Because
For sure.
Their planet seems to defy a lot of rules, so.
Fair enough. It's like Final Fantasy worlds.
Yep, it is. Because I don't think Jar Jar Martin is a geographer.
I mean, when you're reading it, it definitely feels smaller, but that's also because they're talking about so many regions.
Yeah.
They're saying that online, at least, like people were trying to like figure it out. Like 10 hours of walking per day, it would be like 100 days travel.
What
yeah,
do you
we
mean?
walk averagely
From-
about 4 or 5 miles an hour.
From Winterfell to King's Landing,
3.25 months.
it would be 100 days of walking if you walked for 10 hours a day.
It's not even that
3
bad.
months.
I have no idea what that is relative to, though. Anyway,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We're ready for everything.
Yeah, we're definitely ready for Game of Thrones, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about for that, and I can't wait for it to start.
Yeah.
Corn!
Yeah, the crows don't talk.
Well, also, there's
want more
there's
crows.
obviously gonna be shit that we
Ravens
don't
don't
see
talk.
coming, also, which is gonna be new and nice.
Yeah, we're gonna see some crazy shit.
Yeah,
Stuff that we didn't even know because of the books.
I was gonna say we're just to the
Yeah.
point where like I've stopped having a general idea about what's gonna happen.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Yeah, fans are gonna go.
Whereas I've watched the entire show
Nuts.
not knowing anything, and then I'm reading the books afterwards to get more insight.
Yeah, I'm excited.